In the early 1950s, Philadelphia's food handling system was being crippled by serious problems. The wholesale produce and seafood markets, which had faithfully served the city since 1693, were now entirely inadequate. Huge trucks attempting to move in or out of the narrow streets brought traffic to a standstill. Hours of delay were a daily occurrence. And refrigeration facilities were almost non-existent. The antiquated stores, which were a serious fire hazard, provided inadequate space inside, and much of the unwrapped food was stacked or thrown on the sidewalk, resulting in high spoilage losses. Filthy streets and rat-infested buildings presented a health problem that was an even greater menace to the city. Although many of the wholesalers worked 18 hours a day, business suffered and profits were startlingly low. In 1954, a plan to move the ancient markets to a new site was presented by Harry A. Batten and R. Stewart Rauch, Jr. to their fellow members of the Greater Philadelphia Movement, a voluntary group of business leaders dedicated to civic improvements. Financed by the Greater Philadelphia Movement, a study was undertaken to find a suitable area close to the city, but where the complicated transportation requirements could be achieved. The site selected was a 388-acre smoking, unhealthy dump, bordered by squatter shacks and ramshackle buildings. It was within minutes of Center City and was conveniently located alongside 4 modern superhighways, 3 major railroads, and the busy piers of the Delaware River. The plan for a new food center caught fire immediately, and the city administration gave its approval of the development. Legislation to provide capital funds for assembling and preparing the site and to establish the terms of the redevelopment contract was promptly introduced into City Council. With Mayor James H.J. Tate then serving as president of the City Council, the approval of this legislation started the food center project on its way. The Redevelopment Authority acquired the land, had it cleared, filled, and graded. By June 1958, the first ground was ready and construction began on $4.5 million worth of produce and seafood buildings, which featured maximum open space for maneuvering and parking trucks and cars, and room for expansion when needed. The products arrive from all over the United States during the afternoon and evening, and are virtually sold overnight. Since its opening, other facilities have been built in the center. A bank, restaurants, a post office, a barber shop, and a complete truck service center, including a 32-bed air-conditioned motel. The scope of the project was great enough to permit food processors to locate their plants on the site, such as banana ripening plants, poultry cutting facilities, meat processing buildings, public cold storage warehouses, frozen seafood packagers, vegetable packers, and major food chain warehouses. The elimination of the old markets opened the way for a renewal project in that area, which lay so close to Independence Hall, the shrine of America's independence. The Food Distribution Center has provided a much-needed modern installation for Philadelphia's food activities, as it is a major center for wholesale food distribution. Food is speeded through the center at a more rapid rate than was ever possible before, with a minimum of handling, spoilage, and waste. Philadelphia is proud of the successful creation of a clean, up-to-date food handling center, which is equipped to meet today's demands and the needs of future generations without using any federal funds. Visitors, planners, and government officials have come from all over the world to see this modern food center. Every year, Paris is the scene of a truly international agriculture convention. where all European countries proudly display their finest agricultural products. Among these were beautiful floral and food arrangements created by Holland and Italy. The theme of this magnificent exhibit for 1965 was the feeding of large cities. For the first time, the United States Department of Agriculture was asked to participate, provided the exhibit would highlight the Philadelphia Food Distribution Center. A feature attraction of the joint exhibition was this film story of the successful cooperative effort of citizens, business, and municipal government. When completed, the center will represent a total investment of $100 million, will contain over 175 different companies employing as many as 12,000 people, and will pay nearly $2 million a year in real property taxes to the city of Philadelphia. The Food Distribution Center is doing a thriving business, serving 14 million persons more efficiently, with better food at lower prices and at a respectable profit.